What's up, y'all? I'm back. Y'all ready for part 2? Then tune in. It's your boy Jeron, and here we are again for Live with Toledo Negro News. Surviving Narcissism series. In case you missed it last week, let me give you a brief synopsis. So, you have our main character, Queenie. Queenie is dating a guy, or was dating a guy, and we're calling him Boiling. Boiling was a straight up narcissist, and he pretty much had her under his control and clutches, had her doing all kind of things for other women that he would be seeing and things of that nature. So tonight we are going to get into the nitty gritty of what those things were and how everything came about. So in that sense, to finish up the summation, he's what you would call an incubus, which we're getting ready to touch on. He's a squatter, which we're definitely getting ready to touch on. He's an abuser, which we're definitely getting ready to touch on. And there is a reason why there's such a hypnotic trance that he entraps women with whenever they're around him. So let's get into it. So to begin with, let's talk about the squatter for a second. Boiling, if you want to be technical, Boiling is what you would consider an incubus. An incubus is a spirit, like I said before in the first video, that is male in form, and its main focus is sexual desire. But with that sexual desire, it comes at a price, or at a cost, so to speak. There's a soulless look in their eyes. Like, you know how they say eyes are the windows to the soul, right? They have none. Oftentimes these particular people will say that they don't have a belief in a spiritual deity or anything of that nature. Not saying that people that are atheists and don't believe are these types of people, but these particular people have that particular type of characteristic. So, let's differentiate the two, please. Okay. And then, like I stated prior, there's a hypnotic sense to these type of people. It's because it's like the siren song, only it's with hormones. Often at night when you are sleeping, or can be engaged when you're awake. These spirits take all types of form in the male shape. Now, don't get me wrong, there are succubi, which is the succubus, which is the female version of the same. They're out there. I myself have encountered a succubi or two, and let's just say it was never third time's a charm. Anyway, the male incubus has a way of charming, manipulating, conniving, and most of the time, if they're weak in the mind, heart, and spirit, conquering those individuals. And that's what we were dealing with. Well, that's what she was dealing with. Now, you know what? Yeah, that's what she was dealing with. Anyway, so let's get back to the actual story itself. So, Queenie had been fooling with old dude Boiling for quite some time, and she had gone to the doctor to, get her womanly checkup, like always, because she's that type of a queen, which is why her name is Queenie. she went to go get her checkup and everything, and come around to find out he had infected her with an STI. And she also found out a couple of other things too. So she goes to confront Boiling and explain to him what's going on, and that he needs to contact his other female companions and let them know as well too, for their safety and their well-being and their health. Mind you, this man has never been to a doctor. Doesn't know what's going on, what's wrong with him. I'm 4 years away from 50. Boiling is younger than me. People say he looks like he's in his 50s, maybe 60s. Just telling you, I don't make it up, I just report it. You feel me? Anywho, she goes to confront him and let him know. He immediately is like, nah. And immediately starts to blame it on her. Like, oh, you probably got that from somebody else. You was fucking this, that, and the third. Blase, blase, blah. The normal dog shit that both men and women do whenever they've been caught in their own cheating shit. Anywho, he went on to deny. Then Queenie hit him with the 1-2 bomb that was like, you know what? You've been calling me fat, saying I've been getting fat. That's because I'm almost 5 months pregnant. Five months. He immediately goes on to state that there's no way that he could have fathered any children with her because he has never ejaculated in her. YouTube guidelines. But he's never ejaculated in her. Okay. Queenie lets him know, hey, I haven't been with anybody else. You know, I've been with you on and off for 9 years, but for the last umpteen months, years, whatever, it's just been me and you. And, of course, being the no count dude that he is, again, denies it. But Queenie told me that it was because he gets so far out, fucked up, mind twisted and everything, that he can't control himself. And it wasn't the first time that it had happened. And he knew it. So it became more or less of a situation of, okay, you already know that this has happened before. Why are you trying to deny it now? And I'm further along this time than I am the other 2 times. Two, y'all. One, two. So I guess, like I said, with me, there was never a third time's a charm. However, you see, what happens when that third time is the charm, it's not always a charming thing. He continues to deny. They get into an argument, and it's like, they get into a little argument, spat, whatever. I'm not sure if they did their thing that night. Not my business. I don't care. But the next morning, she woke up to being slapped 16 times in the face, waking her up out of bed, dragging her across the floor, throwing her into a wall, continuously striking her over and over and over and over and over again. Like, she said that there was a point where she looked in his eyes and she didn't see anything but just darkness. Remember, what did I say about that incubus spirit, right? All she saw was darkness. So she did what she could to, she went into fight or flight mode, and she decided to fight and not fly. So she fought back, did what she could. Once she could get the upper hand on him, he kind of started cowering, and then started playing the victim. As always, victimhood. Trying to play on her emotions, knowing good and damn well that, one, you just put your hands on her like she was some type of motherfucker that owe you money off the street. Like, who does that? And it's not just her that you've done it to. There are others. And in part 3, we're going to talk about how you tried to come at Lavender. We're also going to talk about several others that know Queenie, that used to be cool with Queenie. Now they're not. All because of this same no-count ass dude. We'll get to that in part 3. Trust me, we definitely will. But he continued to strike her. Like I said, she got the upper hand. He started to play victim. She got her shit. She got out of there. She contacted me. I'm not sure how much time had transpired between the time in which it happened and the time in which she contacted me and sent me the picture of her face. Either way, I was appalled. To say the least. YouTube guidelines. Freedom guidelines. So then that brings us to the conversation that started all of this, that brought around this story time. She contacted me, and I was traveling from one state to another, and it takes about 3.5 hours where I was going. As I'm on my way back, I talked to her the entire way there. And as we're talking, she's explaining to me, and as she's explaining to me, I feel her energy. And I feel like at that time, in that moment, she could have relapsed and gone running right back to him. But then he started sending text messages and like just saying all kind of evil, mean, nasty shit to just poke at her psyche. Now, mind you, he's in the wrong this whole time, but he's sending all of this shit, poking at her psyche, poking at her emotions, her heartstrings. And it's got her fucked up. She's already screwed in the head from everything that's been going on, plus the fact that she's pregnant with twins and almost 5 months. So she had so much going on. Plus she had to think about the fact that you had just whipped her natural born behind. All because you couldn't take what she said. You even told her that you were going to rock'em sock'em robot that baby out of her. So if you want to be technical about it, then you basically just did that to try to hurt that pregnancy. But look at Almighty Yah. He didn't let it happen. So joke's on who? You. Now, from the text that you've been sending recently, you've been sending texts that are like, you know, they're hurtful and harmful, then turning around and saying, I can't believe you're not going to be, you ain't going to be my such and such no more. You ain't going to be da 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 da. I'm not going to say the things that they say because those are specific things between them. And then cat would be out the bag. But if you know, then you know. And sir, if you are listening, see me, please. Please, let's have a conversation. Please. That's all I ask. Please, let's have a conversation. Anywho. He keeps going back to that victimhood mentality. Knowing that he is in the wrong. Still sending text messages stating that you couldn't dare be the child's father, this, that, and the third, da 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 da, and you F this other dude, and da 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 da, bop 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 bop, and you fucking this dude, and this dude, and da 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 da, bop 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 bop, and then you turn around and start pouting to play on her emotions again. You just ripped her a new one, and then all of a sudden you ripped her a wound, but then want her to heal your wound that you created on your own. How motherfucking sway. Anywho, you know, and that's part of his game. That's the part of any game that's being played by a narcissist or an incubus spirit. Sometimes most of the time they're hand in hand. Okay, if you just want to be technical, most of the time they are hand in hand. But that's the thing with them. It's all a game to them, because in the end they benefit from it. They're getting taken care of. They're getting the sexual pleasures and desires and the benefits and amenities that someone who is in a true relationship with those people would be getting. But he has no heart and soul in the game. He has no heart and soul within himself. Nor does he know who he is as a person. Not even as a man of color. But just as a person, he doesn't even know who he is. And it's sad to be at your big ass age and act this little ass mentality. It is sad. Factoid, dactoid. You know. But the game that you play is all about you trying to keep control. And when you lose control, you lose your mind. And when you lose your mind, any and everything starts coming out. And as those things start coming out, and as those things start fluctuating and circulating and being spoken of consistently day in, day out, day in, day out, enough people who will believe the bullshit, but a lot of other people would not. They'll know. Day in and day out, you can spit it all you want, but the real people know. And that control that you seek will never come. You'll only have what is considered a temporary hold or restraint on someone because they're still enamored by the hammer. But it's sick dick. Okay? Sickly dickly. In this control, what you failed to realize is the person that had been by your side for so long, that you drug and dogged out and treated like she was less than sub-zero, inhumane humans, or just treated like she was nothing, basically, for those that didn't understand. You didn't think that she would eventually be like, not me. Not me. Because see, you fail to realize, sir, she's been a boss before you. And she will be a boss after you. She brought the banquet hall when you couldn't even bring in a plate. You didn't realize that she would snap up out of it and realize who she really truly was and the people that she truly have around her that have her back. You forgot about all of that. And now you're looking quite desperate. You're looking very sad. You're looking confused. Don't even know what to do. So you keep sending these random ass texts. And you know, I promise you, if I can get a hold of that device, the numbers will be gone completely, forever. Non-retrievable. Nerd. Non-retrievable. So we'll just leave it at that. You didn't realize that. You didn't realize that Queenie was the true essence, epitome of, and definition of her name. Queenie. You didn't realize that. But now you are. And I hope you get everything that you deserve and everything that is coming to you. Not spared 1 minute, 1 moment of sleep or rest. Continue to get all the benefits. It's making preparation for what is due for you. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Now here's the thing. Queenie is rather elevated in age to where if she were to carry long term, it would possibly be fatal for either or. This is where I understand where reproductive rights and women's rights come into play. I do. Hell, I told her, I was like, at first, before she told me that he stated himself that he doesn't believe in Yah, he doesn't believe in any type of spiritual deity, he more worships the devil, which doesn't make sense to me because he doesn't worship a spiritual deity, but yet you worship the devil, which came from a spiritual deity. So how in the world do you not represent or even type shit? I know. Anywho, when she told me that, I was like, yo, girl, those might be demon spawn. Do what's best for you, but be mindful. Hey, it is what it is. We're not gonna have that debate here. I see both sides. That's all I'm saying. Moving on. Queenie has had to make some tough decisions, and she's doing what is best for her in the long run and the unborn. I keep in constant contact with her just to see how she's doing. Hell, as a matter of fact, before we started filming tonight, I had just talked to her and told her, I would like, go watch the first episode. I'm getting ready to do the second one now. You know. You know. I don't mind helping someone tell their story. Because one, I'm gonna always protect that person and not give them that, not give anyone an inkling as to who it may be. Because if you don't know, then you won't know. But if you do know, then you know. And that didn't come from me, you know. I talked to her, you know, she's still dealing with some emotional baggage from it, but she's pushing through. She's stronger without him, and you see it exuding through her every day. So big ups to Queenie, and big ups to your journey going forward. You know that me and Andy, we got your back. So, you know, if you need to talk, if you need to just sit and chill, whatever the case may be, you just let me know. But we're not done. We're gonna talk about a few other characters in this montage of bullshittery. And I decided to add these characters because these characters, like I said earlier, these characters know one another. These characters need to be aware of what is going on, because shit ain't safe and shit ain't what it's cracked up to be. You feel me? But we are definitely going to get into that in episode 3, because we're not done with Mr. Boiling yet, quite yet. We're definitely not done with Queenie, because something that she and I discussed and talked about came full circle many years later, and we're going to talk about that all in the next episode. So thank you guys for tuning in. May Yah continue to bless you. Habar Aziz Jayoni. Have a good night.
Yo, they be talking on Howie like he ain't got no vision, saying he moving too fast, no direction, that nigga just wishing. Some be like, got no swag, can't rap, go listen. Right. They smiling up in my face, leave your ass dizzy transmission. That's the vibe they spread. But my grind cut like Beijing boy, lying across your head. Why you woofing up in my comments? I was the wolf between your mom's legs. I be stacking up these wins, counting up big commas instead. Talking how we too